Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Rey Fenix, as we know, has officially signed WWE. Today, we are going through 10 dream opponents, dream matches for Rey Fenix once he arrives in the WWE officially. Before we get started, as always, please subscribe, please leave a like, please turn on the bell for notifications. Follow on everything, you get it, yada yada blah blah. I stream on Twitch here, okay. All right, we're starting with the obvious, and the most obvious one, I think, of this entire batch is Penta. We know their history, they're the Lucha Bros. They have been together, facing each other, team in AEW, but they face each other in AEW, they face each other in MLW, they face each other in AAA. It would be crazy and needed to see them run it back in WWE. Obviously, we all want the Lucha Bros to reform, and we're going to have some teams kind of down the list here we're going to talk about, but it'd be a missed opportunity if they don't cross paths at all. Neither has to be the heel. It could also just be like they're in a tournament and they get matched up or whatever. Nice little like wink wink teammates sort of thing, but I think it needs to happen. And this is going to be a case for a lot of matchups during this conversation, is it's going to be crazy to see this in WWE. You know, these Lucha Underground, AAA, AEW guys running it back and doing their thing in WWE. And in 2025, you know, the style isn't even going to be turned down that much. Sure, like it might not be as hardcore or strong style or what have you as in other promotions, but wrestlers in general, Triple H has been letting them cook, and I don't think Rey Fenix and Penta are going to deviate from that allowance, right? All right, that's the obvious one. Another obvious one, number 2, Rey Mysterio. Come on. I mean, through my research, it does not seem that these two have ever fought in any company, any promotion. They've never gone against each other. It would be crazy. It is a must happen for Rey Mysterio, for both their careers really, but it needs to happen before Rey Mysterio retires. I think if it doesn't happen, that's a dream match that could have easily happened, and it would be an unfortunate, not blemish, but left out piece of the puzzle in both their careers if they don't face each other. And obviously this would be kind of the ultimate passing of the torch, kind of new guard versus old guard. Again, that's kind of why I'm speaking a lot of like before Rey retires, because Rey Fenix is the Rey Mysterio of today. There's been articles calling him the modern day Rey Mysterio. So I think that's the real obvious right in your face passing of the torch moment that we need. And also, make it for the custody of using the Rey name. If Rey Fenix wins, he can keep being Rey, and maybe that's Rey's retirement match. I don't know, but I think it'd be pretty funny if we get Rey versus Rey. At bare minimum, we just need that marquee of Rey versus Rey. All right, number 3, we have AJ Styles. This is another kind of old guard versus new guard match. Again, a dream match for what I think is both men, but another case of it needs to happen before AJ Styles retires. Again, these two have never fought each other to my knowledge. I'll bring this up again in a little bit, and I'll kind of keep bringing it up, but this is one of those matches that is still so crazy to think about, that now in 2025, WWE is the place for this dream match to possibly happen, right? You have AJ Styles, who's been in the company at this point for a while, but he is really the premier Mr. TNA guy, right? Then you have Rey Fenix coming from Lucha Underground, AAA, and AEW, really kind of grown in that scene. And the fact that of all places, they're going to face each other potentially in WWE, it's so crazy. There's a lot of instances like that you can't wrap your head around about like just how insane WWE is in general right now. Long story short, who would have thought, huh? Who'd have thunk? AJ also works really well with these kind of high flyer, fast guys, and I think Rey Fenix is just such an obvious matchup for that style. And again, matchups like that will kind of get brought up a little later as well. All right, next. It's pretty inevitable, as I was saying, that Rey Fenix and Penta are going to reform the Lucha Bros in WWE. Don't know when that's going to happen. Right after Mania, I don't know. I do want Penta and Rey to get a singles run and maybe some singles mid-card titles. I mean, world titles, please, please, please. But they will eventually team up. And the first team that came to mind that I want to see them face is the Street Profits, the current tag team champions. I hope they hold them for a while and we can get a really crazy like best of 7 Lucha Bros versus Street Profits every single week on TV, and then culminating at some PLE for the tag titles. I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. And these 4 are 4 of the best athletes the company has today, so they would tear the house down. Rey and Montez Ford can have a competition to see who gets up higher during their frog splash. My money's probably still on Montez, to be honest with you, but I think they go crazy. That's like the first team that came to mind when I was like, who are the Lucha Bros going up against? Ooh, okay, I have 10 written down. I'm gonna cheat because that's a lie. It's not the only team I'm thinking of. The Usos. I've been talking about how I want like face Usos to take on heel New Day, but not that the Usos are officially reformed. We did see Jimmy the other night join his brother and kind of have a little Usos reunion. So how crazy would it be for in 2025 a little more veteran-esque Usos to take on the Lucha Bros. I think that would be unreal. And now I'm really breaking the rules because add New Day to that list. I mean, the whole tag division, obviously, I wanted to keep this to 10, but I lied, I guess. All right, number 5, Motor City Machine Guns. This is another example of a dream match before one or the others retire. Motor City Machine Guns, revolutionary in the tag team scene in wrestling in general. They're a monumental team, as well as Lucha Bros. Again, these two teams have never fought each other in any company, so this is a must-have matchup before they go their separate ways or whatever. It's two of the most important and game-changing teams in history. Not just repeat myself, but it'd be a shame if they never fought each other, and I think we'd get magic from that match. I really do. And again, I'm gonna keep noting it. Crazy that of all places it's happening in WWE. That's where the potential is. It's nuts. All right, getting away from the tag team division again. Now, kind of going back to single stars. Gunther. My favorite Gunther matches are ones where he's matched up against a smaller, more high flyer, fast guy. It's a classic David and Goliath, but Gunther's really the best at it. It's so good. He's like chasing him the whole time. Then once he finally catches him, he fucking destroys him. With that said, like I see the whole thing where Ray's doing all this crazy fast shit and Gunther can't get him. Once he finally gets him, that first fucking, you know what I mean? That first whoop. Meaning Rey is one of the best sellers in the business. I don't think that gets talked about enough. So he's going to make those chops and everything else from Gunther look like death. I think this would be a ball of a match. All right, number 7, moving on to Braun Breaker, who Penta is currently in line to stay in a feud with and keep facing, maybe lead up to Mania for the IC title. I don't know who else is going to be involved. I don't know. Regardless, I'm hoping Penta leaves WrestleMania with the IC championship. But with that said, there is going to be a WWE draft, apparently, unless they drop that news. That was news event at one point. I know that. Point being, we don't know who's going to face who and be on what brand, whatever, because Ray's kind of being advertised for SmackDown as it stands. But regardless, this is dream matches. Braun Breaker, it would be so fucking sick. I think these two would end up getting a speeding ticket for the pace and the speed at which this match would go. It would be unreal. 100 miles per hour each time. Everyone bouncing off the ropes and flying and running around. It'd be nuts. Very similar to Gunther. I really love how Braun works so well with smaller guys, high flyers. Again, a little bit of underdog story is always kind of the ticket for me. And then in the same realm of thinking, like I said, Penta's kind of on this IC title hunt. Rey Fenix needs a mid-card title. Again, like I said, I want them both to hold world titles eventually, but if I'm thinking realistic or thinking what's more likely to happen, these two would be great mid-card champions for sure, as well as tag team champions, obviously, but you know what I mean. All right, number 8, a sleeper pick. Not to me, and shouldn't be considered a sleeper pick, but he's just, not on TV, Andrade. These two have crossed paths, I believe, on AEW Rampage, and they were also in tag team competition with each other. It was Andrade and Rush versus the Lucha Bros. So yet another example of seeing them run it back in WWE would be really fun. Andrade, when he's allowed to show out and show off, is one of the best. For some reason, they just brought him back, and he was hyped up, and they don't use him, and he was in that great feud with Carmelo Hayes, and then now not in the U.S. title picture. I don't know what's going on with Andrade, but I need him to face Rey Fenix, please. This one is just kind of like a please. I don't know if it's going to happen. Please get Andrade out of catering and put him against Rey Fenix, please. And they're going to put this, if this happens, this is going to go right smack dab in the middle of SmackDown. No one's going to think twice about it, and all of a sudden they're putting on a Match of the Year candidate. Make it happen. Book it. I promise. All right, number 9, we have Chad Gable / El Grande Americano. Still unclear who's who or who El Grande is, and it's probably not Chad Gable, but just for the sake of it, I'm just grouping them, into this one. So not that I necessarily need Rey Fenix to be thrown into this Lucha Chad saga, but if Chad Gable's / El Grande Americano's goal is to infiltrate and take down lucha wrestling and luchadors and take down and conquer the best luchadors in the world, Rey Fenix has to be at the top of his list, right? If that's the story they're running with, that just makes sense. So he almost needs to face Rey Fenix. And maybe Rey Fenix is the one that comes in and eventually is the one to take down El Grande Americano or expose El Grande Americano for being Chad Gable. Maybe he's the one to unmask El Grande Americano to kind of get the comeuppance for Dragon Lee. I don't know. There's a lot you can do there. Like I said, you don't necessarily need to include him in this El Grande story because he's a luchador, but, if that's the direction, that's the direction. But outside of the El Grande Americano stuff, seeing Chad Gable in general, his athleticism matched up with Rey Fenix's athleticism would be great. I really like how Chad Gable works with luchadors. I mean, we just saw him in Dragon Lee, regardless of what happened at the end. and whatever, tear it down. It was a prime example of also giving Dragon Lee the time and the spotlight and the opportunity to show out. You put Rey Fenix and Chad Gable together, they're gonna show you. It's gonna be technical too. That's kind of everything else is gonna be kind of high fly and cool, but these two are gonna be on the mat grappling. All right, last one we have here, maybe one of my favorite matchups of the day. Rey Fenix needs to face Dirty Dominic Mysterio. This would be so sick. I mean, I would be shocked if on Dominic Mysterio's dream opponents list, Rey Fenix isn't near the top. This would also kind of allow Dominic Mysterio to kind of dip back into his lucha moveset bag that I've really missed. And now Dom has improved so much that I'll be so curious to see him really show out and show off like what all this years of training and lucha style has led to. You know, I think who's better than letting him show it off with this new guy, younger guy, faster guy, Rey Fenix. And then sure, you have the Rey name, so if you really want, you can play into one of two sides of the coin. Either Dom is like, this is the only Rey I like, and Rey Mysterio sucks, but Rey Fenix is a good Rey, and tries to recruit him in a Judgment Day, and maybe it doesn't happen, and then Penta helps or something. I don't know. I'm getting kind of ahead of myself. Or on the other side of the coin, Dom wants to take out every Rey in existence, and he's like, you know, my father's name was Rey. I don't like Reys. I'm gonna take down you. I don't know. They probably won't do either of that, but I don't know. It's silly to think about. Regardless, this I think would be a perfect matchup for Dominic Mysterio in 2025. I think they'd complement each other's styles real well. And again, it would allow, first of all, it'd be a introduction or a nice showing of Rey Fenix to the crowd. I think Dominic Mysterio is someone they trust and really pair people up in the same sense to show the crowd and put over. But like I said, it would give Dom a real cool chance to show out and put on a banger that we know he can. But I think right now he's just so not held back by his character, because he has one of the best characters in wrestling, but sometimes his character doesn't let him be so impressive and have bangers. You know, does that make sense? It makes sense to me. I don't know. All right, folks, that is my top 10, kind of 12, whatever, dream opponents, dream matches for Rey Fenix once he does officially debut in WWE. Let me know what you think. Did I leave anyone off? Did you have anyone else in mind that I didn't mention? Give me some other matchups. I really appreciate it. Are you hyped for Rey Fenix? I personally am. I'm stoked. All right, before we get out of here, please make sure you subscribe, leave a like, leave your comments. Like I said, turn on bell for notifications. I stream on Twitch and here sometimes. I'm figuring it out. Please follow me on everything, and there'll be new videos all the time here and on Stash Club. Catch up on everything. I appreciate you, and that's it. Have a good one. Bye, 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 bye. Goodbye, bye, bye.